Right on time, simultaneously. Both of these avenues here. Rise as One group, Facebook page. God morning, everybody. Welcome to the Rise as One Kingdom podcast. As you can see, the lion is the king of the jungle, and we are absolutely in the jungle. As Guns N' Roses said, welcome to the jungle, baby. You are in it, and now you have to work your way through the wilderness. It can be this 40 days or 40 years. The choice is ours once we know how to outwit the devil of our mind. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about getting to the root in our praying call this week. I heard a lot about the root this week and why it's so important to rip out the weeds by the root. Because a lot of times those dandelions in your yards, I know every one of you have done this because I know I've done it many times. I rip off the top of the plant and that thing comes right on back stronger. 7 times stronger, the Bible says. If you don't get to the root and rip that thing out, it will come back with a vengeance. That's why when you cast things out of your life, they will come back stronger until you get to the root. And the last thing I want to talk about is being reminded about grounding. I've been seeing a lot of stuff on the internet lately about grounding. We talked about this way back in like episode 10, the importance of grounding, getting in your bare feet. I would highly encourage you, if you can get outside, get into your bare feet, watch the sunrise. 5, 10, 15 minutes, deep breathing, and just giving thanks. As I tasked one of the guys in our group this week, I says, what are 3 things you can be grateful for? Get up for the next 7 days, get out your journal, write down 3 things that you can be grateful for. Number 1, and say it over and over again until you can feel it in your cells of your body, your DNA, the God within you. Number 2, go to the next one. Number 3, go to the next one until you can feel it and repeat that pattern over and over again. And eventually, you're going to feel grateful. You're going to get out of the mind. You're going to outwit the devil. We're going to get into the depths of the outwitting of the devil here in a minute. It's so powerful when you understand that you're in control. Everything that you have in your life right now, you put it there. Everything that's in your situations in your life, you put it there. Your relationships, your bank accounts, your health. You are the controller of your destiny. Do not let the propaganda we're going to talk a little bit about today, do not let the media, the news, the social media, any of those outside influences, I call those outside influence, focus on the intuition, which means to be guided from within, which means to be guided from your DNA, which means to be guided to your true purpose. Because a man without a purpose will perish. A woman without nurturing, loving, and caring her true state will perish. This is where the alcohol, this is where the drugs, this is where the cutting, this is where the sedation, this is where the numbing of the mind comes in. You see how this works, right? We have to outwit the devil, which is the mind being programmed by somebody else, and go to the intuition, your DNA, your true core, your essence, your true essence of who you are as a being, human being having a spiritual experience. As we rise as oneness, we're going to talk about the oneness and togetherness. And as I was driving down here, God always gives me a message on the way to the studio to have a conversation with you guys. So thank you for joining me each and every week here on the Rise as One Kingdom podcast, episode number 21. Every Sunday I can sit in my bed. I can take my dog Maximus for a nice walk with Emma, go run in the field, go to church, and just chill. But he says, no. Get up, go down there, share what you're learning from the week. And here's what I'm learning from this week. Renewal service. We are hosting a renewal service right here in Matthews, Virginia, June 29th. Mark your calendars. We're going to renew, O Spirit, in me, O Lord. I'm going to read it to you here because as I was getting ready for this podcast, he says, highlight it into your book. This is what the service is about. Read it to the good people. Get it into their minds so they can be in alignment with their truth. This is from the Bible version, the Amplified version. This is Psalms 51, 10 through 12. Create in me a clean heart. My heart was unclean for many years. O God, and renew a right and steadfast spirit within me. A right and steadfast spirit within me. Do not cast me away from your presence. And I don't believe God ever casts himself away from our presence. We cast ourselves away. And lastly, restore to me the joy of your salvation and sustain me with a willing spirit. That is Psalms 51:10 through 12. So join us for that to take place in your life. Renew a right spirit within me, O Lord. June 29th, we'll be hosting that event here. We got some amazing speakers speaking from the stage. There's going to be some singing, some worship, some testimonies. How did people overcome the devils within the mind to break through? You're going to hear some powerful stories of men and women just like you that have overcome, went from victim into victory. And it's a challenge. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of inner work. It takes carrying your cross. Some of us are not willing to do that. Joe, Skip, Mike, Lori, would you help me carry my cross? Those are my brothers and sisters. Nope. Can't do it. You have to kill your cross for what? Purpose. All you have to do is live your purpose. To live a fulfilled life. Not getting to the end of our life and having what? Regrets is the ultimate failure of this life. I've heard many stories, people on their deathbed. I wish I shoulda, coulda. One day. Good morning, Darren. Good morning, Howyou. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Rise as One Kingdom podcast, episode 21, where we have to outwit the devil, Darren. We have to outsmart him. And there's going to be some processes and systems that they talk about and how to do this. So let's jump into it here. Are you getting to the root? So the first thing we're going to talk about is getting to the root. I was hearing this on the praying call. I was hearing a lot of challenges people were going through. Why? Because we try and put band-aids on stuff. We try and put masks on our face. We try to hide behind things. We try and cover it up with makeup for all the blemishes that we have on our skin. Are you getting to the root? Root cause analysis allows you to get to the true source of a problem and stop it in its tracks. This is more effective than simply remedying the symptoms. And this is what most of us do here in America with the sick care. By identifying and alleviating the root cause of a problem, you, Darren, can prevent an issue from occurring again in the future. And we as humans, this is what we do. We repeat the patterns of yesterday. We repeat what we did yesterday. Why is it familiar? Why is it familiar? Because the mind wants something that's familiar. It doesn't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want to go to the gym in the morning. I'm tired today. I want to get up and go work out and take care of my mind, body, health. You know what? I'm just going to go to Hardee's down the road over here. I'm going to McDonald's. I'm going to go over here some fast food instead of eating something that's healthy for me on the outside aisle of the grocery store. That's where all the good food's located. You go to the inner other aisles, it's all processed and all this crap they put inside of there, and fillers and salt. And then we wonder why we're tired after we eat. Good indicator, you're eating the wrong stuff or you're eating too much. Makes you tired. You should not be tired after you eat. But see, here's the thing, Howyou. We've been programmed from day one. You got to have breakfast. Now you got to have lunch. Now you got to have dinner. Back in the day, they ate once. So now we have sick care, not health care. Let me keep you sick and sell you some more of my pharmaceuticals, give you some more of my drugs, and then when you can't get those, you got to go to the streets. Now you get hooked on those drugs. Now I can't get off the drugs. Now I'm sedating with alcohol because I'm in so much pain. You see this? The cycle of craziness? Because we're not outwitting the devil. We'll get into that. Good to see you, Howyou. Good news, Howyou. We sold the house this week, so everything's going to be on the up and up here. I had 3 contracts this week. Side note here, I've been fighting and fighting and fighting. My wife's been fighting and fighting and fighting until finally, guess what we did? We surrendered. Got on my knees one morning. I know Kathy's sister was praying for us out there in Denver. Kathy was praying, saying, hey, I haven't released this house yet. That's why it's still here. She released it that day. That night we got the phone call. People bought the property, came down Thursday and looked at it. It's crazy. They didn't come look at the house. They wanted it. As soon as they saw it, they knew. And when you know that you know that you know, you know. So all 3 properties went under contract on the same day last Thursday. Thank you, Lord, for answering our prayers. Whew, so good. Sidebar there. Remember, drink your lemon water. Little spring water in there. And Dr. Bart, when he watches, I've seen Dr. Bart in his garden down there. His fruit trees are so bountiful, they're falling down to the ground. I remember the Maestros lived across the street from us on Westville Avenue. They had this peach tree in the front yard. And every year, if they didn't support it, it got too heavy, all those peaches would weigh the branches down. The branches would snap off. We have to be supported together. Support systems we have to put into place. Sick care versus health care. Mental health is vital, and if we don't get to the root, we can continue to torture, is what I call it, torture ourselves, and eventually this becomes suffering. Suffering becomes long-term illness and even death, as some at the body, mind, and spirit is challenged with long-term tormenting thoughts. That was me. What I wrote down here, such as my mom or dad leaving. And I thought about that as 12 years old there, and Howyou, as my mom walking out the door, 12 years, why is she leaving me? In 38 years, I got to the root. 38 years later, and thousands of beers later, sedation later, I was able to face my truth. The truth was, she didn't leave me. The truth was, she was going for her own peace and sanity. She wasn't leaving me, but I blamed her. I became the victim. I became the sedated warrior, running from the pain. And many of you can relate to this. I'm not sure what the backstory was, but it's the same running. It's the same getting outwitted by the devil. It's the same torment. It's the same suffering. Because suffering, guys, gals, brothers, sisters, their parents, suffering is an optional. It's optional. Pain, you're going to have lots of pain. We're all going to experience pain in this world. As I was speaking to my good friend Christy that I met yesterday, and she was telling me about she overcame 17 heart attacks. She had to go through surgery with no sedatives, no pain pills, no morphine. She's allergic to opioids. Thank God. One person on the earth is allergic to them, so they can't take them. Because those things are addictive. And thank God I never got addicted to them. I seen all my friends get addicted to the pain pills. Man, they were like rats looking for cheese. Hey man, got 20 bucks? Hey man, got 20 bucks? And they get this angst about them. They're twitching. It's like an alcoholic can't get their drink. They start twitching. This is what we do to ourselves as humans until we outwit the devil. And we'll get to that in a minute. Holding on to the lies that someone told you, Darren Howyou, that who you are. Maybe some guilt and shame, some of the things that we've done. We're holding on to those things. Then these thoughts become thoughts of not being enough, not having enough, not being good enough, and we become people pleasers. Who can relate to that? I want to be liked. Let me not say what I really want to say because it might offend them and they may walk away from me. Now what are you doing? Bending from who you truly are, your true essence. If you spoke your truth, maybe some of those people would have went on that path, Darren. If you spoke your truth, Howyou, maybe some of those people wouldn't be hurting right now. See, but now we have the choice to go back and clean up our mess. Stir up the water in that 5-gallon bucket. I know a lot of you can relate to this. You get a bucket and it's been sitting outside and there's some dirt in the bottom. But when we stir it up, all that dirt comes back to the surface. Sometimes we have to do that in our lives too. We got to stir it back up and get that dirt to come back to the surface. Look at it. Face it. Feel that pain. And then what? Let it go. Surrender it. It's not yours to hold on to. We just have to own it. And when we don't own it, we blame and complain, and he did it, and she did it, and all of a sudden we run from it, and now we're still carrying what? The guilt and shame on our shoulders. Until 30, 40 years later, it's like, I can't carry this no more, Lord. Take it, please. I know your Bible talks about your yoke is light. Take this, because this is way too heavy for me. When I was younger and stronger and vital, and I can sedate my mind with some things and make me feel stronger, put some substances in my body and make me change, alter my state, I was able to carry that stuff. Today, I don't want to carry that no more. I'm going to cast that thing out. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to surrender it. And now you can go free. And a lot of us do this. I want what he or she has. That looks cool. That looks nice. And that will make me feel not enough. How about earning what you want? Because then, for me growing up, not having it, what I would do, Darren? What did we do, Howyou? We went out there, we do what? Todd, good morning. We would steal it. What's the Bible say? Thou shalt not steal. Now what are we doing? We're showing what we don't want as the boomerang of life is coming back to us, upside the back of the head. Now we're being stolen from. Then we blame God. Why is this happening to me? Because you sowed those seeds, and now they're growing the fruits of what you sowed. Because some plant, some water, God gives the increase. And it's going to come back to us. That's karma. That's the boomerang of life. We have to know the rules in order to play it successfully. I've seen where people went their whole life to prove to themselves that they were enough, and some of them actually achieved it, but they left everybody else behind. Their wife, their kids, their sanity. They couldn't find peace. They had money. They had the car. They had the vacations. They had the house. What did they lose? Everything. Their essence. Their wife. Their kids. Kids don't even want to know you. I've seen the stories. I've heard the stories. Hundreds of them. Because we grew up not being enough. I'm going to prove to you. Oh yeah, you said I can't do it? Watch me. And then we go like a bull in a china shop in one direction, just plowing through everything. And we wound and hurt and maim. And some of us even killed some of those people in that path. Now we have guilt and shame. As we get older in life, a little bit wiser, a little more understanding. And then truth keeps smacking us upside the head. It's like when you get smacked in the back of the head by your mom and dad growing up, and now you can't even hit the kids, and now the kids are out of control. This is why grounding is so important. See, these things, guys, all of this I'm speaking about is energy. Everything is energy. Our body's made up of energy. The light is energy. Motion is energy. All this stuff is energy. And if you want to get this energy out of your body, out of your mind, out of your spirit, out of your soul, get into the ground barefoot. I would suggest doing it in the morning as the sun is rising, and you get the energy, that new energy from the sun. Renew a spirit in me, O Lord. See that renewing of the spirit? It says on the top there in the black circle. See that black circle? Renew within me a right spirit. In order to do that, you have to get grounded. Let that energy out of your body. Let that guilt and shame, that not enoughness, that fear, that doubt, that anxiety that's been being programmed into your mind for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. The guy yesterday, as you guys saw the video from yesterday, 90 years old, cranking up that machine that he had for 150 years. It's been around. That old machine, you throw the corn in there and take all the kernels right up the corn. The stalk went one way and all the corn kernels went the other way. This is what we have to do. This is what we're required to do. This is what we should be doing. Some of us put our hands in there and it grinds our hand. Look at me. Why is this happening to me? Then we play the victim. Get the energy out of your body through grounding. What does grounding do? It reduces pain and alters the numbers of circulating neutrophils. Come on, Darren and Howyou, help me out here, man. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. Neutrophils. Neutral. So it's definitely something to do with the mind. Neutrophils and lymphocytes. These are two big words. Now, I'm telling you, I'm not the smartest kid in the world. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed and all these things, these big words and all this PhD stuff and going to school and colleges. That wasn't me. I went to the school of life. I learned at Hard Knocks. You guys see that on my Facebook profile. I went to school of Hard Knocks. I'm a hard head. But I tell you one thing. You can hit me with it 5, 6, 7 times. And eventually, I'm going to figure it out. Eventually, I'm going to share what I'm learning through all my hard-headedness, through that school of Hard Knocks. I don't have to know the big words. I just know how to, I just know how to play the game of life. That's it. That's all we require. We've been equipped with everything that we need in order to succeed. Everything that you need in order to succeed is within you now. It reduces the pain, alters the numbers of circulating neutrons and lymphos, and also affects various circulating chemical factors related to inflammation. So when you ground yourself, you're taking actually inflammation out of your body. Look it up on the internet. There's a bunch of stuff going around right now. It's been popping up like crazies. I thought about this. I got the intuition of this about 6 months ago. I mentioned it. I mentioned it again not too long ago. And now here everybody's talking about it. Why? It's very important. You should be doing these things. And the best part is, it doesn't cost you anything. So you can't use money as an excuse. It's going to take effort of carrying that cross, going outside, first thing in the morning, taking your socks and shoes off, get in the ground barefoot, and stare at the sun. The other day I was doing this. I look over and there's my brother Chuck standing next to me. He snuck out next to me. As I was appreciating and being grateful for those 3 things, just to have the sun beating on my face. Just to have my wife and dogs in the bed with me. I was grateful. To have a healthy mind, body, and spirit, I was grateful. What are you grateful for today? Who are you grateful for today? Well, at the same time, you receive a charge of energy in the form of free electrons. Many of you know what free electrons are. They just float around your body, helping your body synchronize with the natural frequencies of the earth. That's why it's called grounding. To be grounded to the earth. I do this a lot in my meditations at 3:33 on Sundays. Today I'll be skipping it for all my teammates out there. We come into this space, this sacred space of peace, love, and joy in our meditations on Sundays. We're going to a play this afternoon at 3 o'clock. Unity, togetherness, doing things that your partner wants to do. This is how you find peace in your home. It's not the money that's going to do these things for you. It's not the car in the driveway. It's not that big ring on her finger. It's the love that you show forth through you, through your actions, through your words, through your goodness. I'll repeat that. While at the same time you receive a charge in the form of free electrons, helping your body synchronize with the natural frequencies of the earth. Everything's energy, everything is frequency. When I was in the military, I studied all about electronics. They talked about the sine waves and the frequencies that go out there, the frequencies of your radio station, the frequencies of the airs and TV stations. All that's a frequency. You got to tune in your body to the frequency that it operates onto. Because if you like country and you're listening to rock, your body's out of sync. You got to put on the program that you enjoy. And this is what they did to Saddam Hussein when they were over there taking his country. They played rock and roll music, blared it into his eardrums, until eventually he surrendered. He said, "I can't take this no more." This is what we do to ourselves. Now, lastly, the good stuff. Outwitting the Devil. Napoleon Hill. Many of you heard of Napoleon Hill. He has the #2 book behind the #1 all-time selling book, which is the Instruction Manual of Life, the Holy Bible, the basic instructions before leaving Earth. Napoleon Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich. It's the #2 all-time selling book. But he also wrote Outwitting the Devil at the same time in 1938. Think about this, guys, gals, brothers, sisters. 1938, he wrote this book. Both of them the same time, pretty much. He was so afraid to release it, he put it under lock and key in a safe. And when he passed away, his family found it. He says, "We have to publish this. This is amazing stuff." And it was published in 2011. So, in Outwitting the Devil, it's a simulated interview between Napoleon Hill having a conversation with the devil. And here's how it goes. It's an imagined interview between Napoleon Hill and the devil himself, in which he wrings certain truths from the root of evil. You see how this is all tying in, right? We're tying all this in together here. From the root of evil, which will help us avoid his grasp and live a good and fruitful life of peace, love, joy, happiness, which is, by the way, your true state. This is how we come into the world. A true state of happiness. Most of us, I should say. The majority of us. And then we get the altered state. Written in 1938, released by his family after his death in 2011. Over 70 years until it was published. One of the critical insights of Outwitting the Devil is that it's okay to be self-serving. We don't have to please everyone, going back to the people pleasing we just spoke about. And we're more effective if we put our needs first. Because here's the reality. You can't give what you don't have. You're required to put your needs first. By keeping up with our own purpose and values, we are more likely to be in the position to serve and help others. And that's my truth. That's the journey I went on. For those of you who've been paying attention here on Facebook for the last 15 years, I have a public profile. There's nothing that's hidden here. This is just me doing life, trying to figure this thing out, and hopefully some people are paying attention to the mistakes that I'm making so you don't make the same mistakes. But a lot of us are humans, so we're going to make the same mistakes anyway because I want to try it for myself. This is what I do. Until you figure it out. See, man, I didn't know life could be this good. People were asking Kathy a couple years ago, is Joe always that happy? Happiness is a choice. Gratitude is a choice. Carrying our cross is a choice. Cleaning out one bag of garbage this weekend out of your house is a choice. Because the things around you, you put them there, and you don't like them, you should be getting rid of those things, is my recommendation. Things in your mind you don't like, you should be getting rid of those things, my recommendation. Things you don't like about your health, you might want to shop the outside aisle of the grocery store and start putting organics into your body. Some organic lemon, some Kangen water, some alkaline water, some spring water. Stop drinking the city water. It's tainted. It's dirty. It's polluted. The air's polluted. The water's polluted. The food all has toxins in it. Put the lemon in your body, take the toxins out. There's a way to detoxify your body. Look it up on Yandex, Yandex. Start getting away from Google. Start going into Yandex. Get some truth and get some information on how you can help yourself, your wife, your life, and your family. This book talks about how the devil uses alcohol and cigarettes to control our minds. Think about this, dear, when we were growing up, Howyou, right? All the Marlboro, man, it was cool to smoke. All the movie stars, it was cool to smoke. What did everybody do? I want to be cool. Let me smoke. The one thing good about smoking that I believe is It's meditation because you're breathing. And then you're blowing out. But the reality is that if you take a deep breath of clean air, which is free, it's so much better for your mind. You get high levels of oxygen into your mind, body, and your spirit, and your body operates under peak performance with good food, good air, and good water. Side note. Getting a little off track. Let me get back on track. The book talks about how the devil uses alcohol and cigarettes to control our minds. It includes all forms of news, TV, media, social media, propaganda, things that they're trying to deceive you with. What's the enemy's number one thing? Lie, cheat, steal, and deceive. That's what he loves to do. What's the easiest way to do it? Through our eyes, through our ears, through our mind. The eyes will hold on to things several seconds after you look at something, you close your eyes, you can still see that image for several seconds. Guess what? You're programming your mind with what you're seeing, what you're hearing. Ho, 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 green giant. I can still hear that since being a little boy at 4 years old watching that commercial on TV. When I went to the store, what did I want to buy? Green beans. Pay attention. These low vibrations programmed into us by outside influences keeps us in a state of fear, doubt, anxiety, and depression. And right now today, we're at an all-time high of those four things. The number one cause of death for 35 and under, the children of this world ultimately, suicide. They can't handle it. Their minds can't handle the deception, the lies. They're going crazy in their mind. I'm praying for my brother Richard right now because you're coming through to me, Richard. His son, he found him hanging. He says, Dad, they're tormenting me. Get out of my room. They're tormenting me. They're in here. This is the reality of the spiritual battle we're fighting right now. So if this is you, if I'm speaking to you, reach out. Come to our renewal of your spirit. Come to our event. Go to an event near you. It's going to help you remove those energies out of your body. I'm praying for you. We're praying for you. We are born unto his image of love and light, which vibrates at 500 plus hertz. The fear, the doubt, the anxiety vibrate below 200. They vibrate below 200. We are in a natural state of love and light, which is 550. Peace is 600. That's our natural state. But most of us are trapped in our victimhood of what they told us. What happened to me? I know some of you, some very bad things happened to you. I get it. But we have to get out of that state of anger, fear, doubt. Some of it's guilt, things that we've done, the shame. We have to get out of that state into our higher vibrational state. Courage is at 200. Once you get above courage, it's game over. You just got to keep moving forward. But most of us get trapped below that benchmark of 200. Because below 200, you're being controlled by the enemy. He's outwitting you. Satan's got his talons into you. Below 200. We have to understand this, number one. Number two, now we have the power of choice. How do I get out? I don't like what I'm going through. Alcohol, spirits, going to the liquor store to pick up spirits, you're altering your spiritual state. We are in a spiritual war. What stores were left open during COVID? The spirit store. They keep you controlled into your mind below 200 of fear, doubt, anxiety. I'm going to die. Guess what? You're going to die when God says you're going to die. Don't fear death. You're not born with the fear of death. You're born with the fear of failing, fear of falling, and the fear of loud noises. Two things you're born with that you should be fearing as humans. Falling, loud noises. This is here to protect you. All these other fears that you carry around were programmed into you by news, TV, media, social media, teachers, propaganda. All I'm doing is waking you up to that reality. My job is to bring you some the awakening that I experienced. We'll talk to that book in a minute on Amazon. Rise as One, the spiritual awakening, the togetherness, the oneness, the unity, to be one with Him. That's who you are. We go through this victimhood until we say, why me? But we as humans blame and complain on us for a lack of why things are not going our way. In reality, we are doing it to ourselves based upon our thoughts, our words, and our actions. So all these things that we're bringing into our life are based upon our thoughts, our words, and our actions, which are vibrations that we send out from our bodies, which are energy, goes out into the universe. It doesn't return void. It hits us in the back of the head. Why me? Then we play the guilt and the victim. And it's exhausting. I see the look in people's eyes. I was walking down here at Market Days yesterday with my good friend in his wheelchair. Can't walk. And I seen the people and the looks in their eyes. But then I seen the people and they got around the animals and they got the little chicks and they got them on the side and they can see their love and that's their true nurture. I said so many of the women, they had those little chicks. A C&J farm brought little chicks down here and they had little chicks and everybody had like this. And what are they doing? I looked. They all had little chickens. They were being hatched. That's our true state, to love and caring. Be kind. But then we get the enemy coming against us. It turns us against one another. That divides us. Divided we fall, the allegiance says. Together we rise. If you think right, you eat right, and you move right, while being guided by your intuition to be guided from within, your higher self, which is pulling you to your purpose so you don't perish, because I've been without a purpose. I wrote that wrong. Because a man and a woman without a purpose will perish, as we said earlier. Why me? We blame, we complain. Why the things are not going our way in our reality, we do it to ourselves. If you think right, you eat right, and you move right, being guided by your intuition, being pulled by your higher self into your purpose. Because if you don't have purpose, you will perish. And that's why 35 and under is the number one death for these young people. They don't understand. It's not their fault. So we're going to go through a statement here in a minute. It's going to help you with this. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Generally speaking, not in all cases for men, it's to hunt, and for women, it's to be caring and loving and nurturing. So for men, go out there and hunt. Man, we can hunt. We are good hunters. We love to hunt. We feel good about ourselves when we come home with the kill. For women, nurturing, loving, caring. That's our natural state of purpose. So by harnessing the power of positive thinking, we can plan in advance, set clear goals, and develop a deep sense of purpose. We can do this by listening to our intuitive voice, relying on our infinite intelligence, and avoiding the temptation to act impulsively. And that's what most of us do. We react to what life is doing to us. But the reality is, it's happening for us. Finally, to outwit the devil, we require to live a conscious and disciplined life. Meaning, do what you say that you're going to do. Do what you want to do. Don't do what they want you to do. Do what you and your heart, mind, body, and soul wants to do. Stop people pleasing. And realize that we're the ones who can alter the course of our destiny. We are the ones that can alter the course of our destiny. That's a powerful statement. Go back and listen to that is my recommendation. Rewind that a couple times and listen to it over and over again. Side note, if you don't stand for something, I posted this week on my profile page, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. And that's our reality. If we don't stand for our truth, we will fall for theirs. And we know that what the enemy's truth is: lies, deception, kill, and destroy. That's what he's looking to do. And I see the families being destroyed. I see the lives being destroyed. I see the meth. I see the heroin. I see the opioids. I see the pain pills. I see the alcohol. I'm praying for you. Because that was me. I didn't like that state one bit. Man, waking up with a hangover almost every day. Hearing a knock on the door or something, having to get up out of my sleep and be all groggy. Now the dog barks. He's like, let's go outside 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I can just get up, let him out, come back, boom. Sometimes I go back to bed, sometimes I stay up. But I don't feel that having to like drag myself. That was misery to drag myself around. I was back then, I was getting like 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. Get up, work all day, party all night, and then do it all over again. And from the outside, it looked good. From the inside, I was killing myself. I was in pain. I was in misery. I was in suffering. I wasn't letting no one see it. How many of us can relate to that? How we block. I'm going to bury that thing until eventually we get all kinds of stomach issues and leaky gut issues and prostate issues. This is what we do to ourselves. We torture ourselves through our mind, through our thoughts, through our words, through our actions. The spoken word, the power of the spoken word. Let's finish this thing up. Get onto my praying call here. If he will bring you to it, he will bring you through it. Under our own strength, ideas, and courses, we are being challenged, but under his power, all is possible. And that's why we have to get to the root. That's why we have to rip it out by the root to get back to our true essence. So we're in alignment, centered on what we want. And that's not being selfish. So we were talking about last week. Mind your business. Mind your business. Your internal self. Allow your true essence to come forward. Togetherness, unity, and oneness. Together, unity, and oneness. To rise as one. The Spiritual Awakening. I wrote that book back in 2018. Pick it up on Amazon. It tells my story, how I became spiritually awakened. And a lot of you out there right now are just waking up to this reality of the last couple of years. Don't make yourself wrong. We're all in our own process. It's okay to be where you're at. Stop looking up at people in idol and worship. There's only one person you should be looking up to. The guy with the thorn on his head. Yeshua Emmanuel. That's the only one you should be looking up to. He was the way, the life, and the truth. He is the way. He is the living God of the earth, of all universes, showing us how to live a righteous life. But all of a sudden, here comes the outwitting of the devil, and then we're lusting for things, and we're worshiping things. We're worshiping money. We're worshiping actors and sports figures. What are you worshiping? What are you idolizing? What are you not letting go of? Are you ripping it out by the root today? I give you permission, and it's okay to rip out whatever's been holding you back. Rip it out by the root today. And wake up with a new spirit tomorrow. Grounding, watching the sunrise in your bare feet. 7 days journaling what you're grateful for. 3 things. And then say them aloud until you feel it in your body. I guarantee you, you will change your state in 7 days. But you got to do the work. You might have to get up early. If you got responsibilities you're going to get to, you might have to get up a half an hour early. And guess what? Take time for yourself. It's okay. And finishing, talking about togetherness, unity, and oneness. Hebrews 10:25. We should not stop gathering together with each other as believers. Together with believers. We should not stop gathering together with believers, as some of you are doing. Instead, we must continue to encourage each other even more as we see the day of the Lord coming. And we see it coming. We see, those of you that read the Bible, you see the prophecies being fulfilled. There was 333 prophecies in the Bible. Over 300 of them have come true. One of them was a book about a Messiah was coming. 650, 700 years it was written before he came. I didn't know this until I started digging into the Bible. I would suggest you pick up the Bible, start reading it for yourself. Number one all-time selling book for a reason. People's lives have been changed. Testimonies after testimonies. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to inform you. That book has some things that's going to help your life. The basic instruction manual before leaving Earth. On the way down here, I was getting a message from God. Fellowship Hall. Creating a space where we can come have fellowship, especially for our seniors, as I continue to see elder abuse. So I asked myself, I said, well, if this was happening here with Hebrews was talking about this, when was it written? It was around 59 AD, right after Jesus passed, about 60 years after Jesus passed, so way back, almost 2,000 years ago, 25 to 30 years after Jesus' resurrection and ascension into the heavens. They witnessed him going up. There was witnesses. I never heard this before until I started reading it. Around 59 AD, 25 to 30 years after Jesus' resurrection and ascension, I asked myself the question to conclude, after 2,000 years later, we are repeating the patterns of good versus evil. So then I wrote down, good equals together, evil equals division. That's how simple it is. I like to break it down. Keep it simple, siblings. Don't let them call you the other S word. That's how the enemy gets to win. This is how he outwits you. Keep it simple, siblings, meaning we're brothers and sisters. Keep it simple, siblings. Good, together. Bad, evil, division, separation. It tells you right here in Hebrews 10:25, we should not stop gathering together with other believers. And whatever you believe in, that's good by me. But believe in something. Don't believe the lies. Believe your gut, your intuition, the God within you. And lastly, love thy neighbor. Oh, don't play the game of the enemy, and love thy neighbor as thyself. Stand and or step into your power. Stand for your power or step into your power if you're not there yet. Because power doesn't need any outside influence, as I said here many times before. Power operates unto its own energy. And when we get grounded and we get centered in the morning and we're grateful, we can start the day anew with a new spirit, going out there and being in alignment with your truth. Then you can love thy neighbor, which refers to the biblical phrase, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, from the book of Leviticus 19:18 in the Hebrew Bible, about the ethic and reciprocity. See, I'm getting better. Reciprocity, known as, these are two words I love, the golden rule or the great commandment. The commandment commands us to love one another. Love the Lord with all your heart. Love thy neighbor as yourself. Why love? 550 hertz will put you in a state of a high vibration to receive the goodness you deserve. Below that 200 line we were talking about earlier, that guilt, shame, doubt, apathy, grief, empathy, resentment, rejection, abandonment, you live below that poverty level, you're going to get more of that. This is just how life works. It's a universal law. Whatever you send out is going to come back to you. I say send out love, joy, peace, and happiness. Bless somebody if you can bless somebody. And right now, if you're going through a challenge, go bless somebody. I was talking to a guy across the street here yesterday at Market Days. I said, man, you look a little different. He goes, I'm going through cancer, with a smile on his face. I said, hey, can I pray for you? So I prayed for him. But you can see he had no fear. He's like 80 years old, still working. He builds these figurines and stuff. And he sells them out the back of his pickup truck. You saw the guy yesterday, 90 years old, turning the machine. What's our excuse? She said this to me. He did this to me. I was bullied. I was victimized. Those things happened. I don't doubt that. But now we have to step into our power. Stand into your power. If you're in your power, stand in it. Own it. If you're not in it, step into it. You are power, you are love, and you are peace. The culture has reprogrammed you out of your natural state, and it is not your fault. I repeat, it is not your fault if you find yourself where you are. But now you have a choice. Say the words, I give myself the permission to let go of all that is not of me, and it's okay. This is a powerful statement. Say it with me. I give myself the permission to let go of all that is not me, and it's okay. And I want you to visualize all these energies and lies of the enemy leaving your body. And do this after you get off this call. Look into the mirror. I give myself the permission to let go of all that is not me, and it's okay. I give myself the permission to let go of that is all that is not me, and it's okay. And watch how you get set free. And with that, we conclude episode 21 of the Rise as One Kingdom under God. We're just here for the ride. We're here for the experience. Don't make it right or wrong. It's simply just an experience of togetherness or division. We choose. You, my brothers and sisters, have the power of choice. That's the fact. Jack, as he said in the movie, that's the fact, Jack. So I hope you heard something today that resonated with you. I hope you're taking away something from today's podcast. Because you are enough. You are good. You are beautiful. Everything that you require is within you now. So I'm going to leave you with the reminder of the 3 things of your greatest weapons. The 2 greatest things, praying and fasting, will put you into his presence. And from there, he will administer a good word to you. As I heard from my friend Christy, he told her, just breathe. After her 17th surgery, 17 heart attacks later. I should say 17 heart attacks, not surgeries. But after her surgery, Yeshua came to her and said, just breathe. So I leave you with that word. Just breathe. Don't hold on. Holding on is suffocation. Letting go. Letting go is freedom. I say, be a free man, be a free woman today. Let your soul be set free by using these affirmations, using these power statements, using these words of wisdom from the book of Solomon. The words of wisdom come from experience. And you have to get up and get into the arena, carry your cross, and yes, there's going to be some heavy lifting. And a lot of us, I get it. I don't want to eat right. I don't want to have to drive over there and go get my groceries. I don't want to have to cook. Let me just take the easy way. Let me just have some pizza. Give me a bear and a pizza. I'm cool, man. And then the next day we feel like crap, and then the inflammation builds up, and we wash it down with some dairy products, and all of a sudden we have the inflammation in our knees, inflammation in our elbows, which goes away after you meet a great man like Louis Russo, who said, if you eat right, you feel right. All the time. And this man lived to be 101 years old with no glasses and no medication. So my peace I give you, my peace I leave you. Sign up. Give us a message, shout out here. Go to Facebook, Renewal Service, Renew a Spirit Within Me, O Lord. It's going to be held at Zoll Vineyards, 10309 South Vineyard Road, Dutton, Virginia, 23050. As you can see on the bottom, we have our little QR code on there. I'll be posting this. You can zap that QR code. It'll send you right to the Facebook page. You're going to see all the information on there. We can sign up. All we require is a head count so we know how to position the room. I can promise you, when you get into that room, and thank you, Darren, for that feedback, always have a takeaway from these things. But I can promise you, when you get into that room, you're going to feel a new spirit. That's my promise to you. Because I know the men and women that are coming here with a true heart of intention of helping, assisting you to break through and outwit the devil of the mind, to step into your true essence and power, the God within you, the one that beats your heart 100,000 times a day, because you are enough, you are love, and you are joy. And if you're going through something, reach out to me. Reach out to somebody. Because we're all here and we're all in this together. And together we will rise as one kingdom under God. I love you all. I thank you. Thank you for following this crazy journey. I don't know why I get up every morning, but I'm being nudged to do it. He's giving me commands, so I'm being urged to come down here every Sunday morning at 8:30 to be here with you all. I love you all. God loves you. So do I. Have a great day. We'll see you next week. Peace.